It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today I'm going to be reviewing a beer from Norton Brewery, and it's a bottle of their double stout. Now I don't normally kind of cross-reference reviews, but I've just reviewed 5 minutes ago a tropical smoothie IPA, and I explained in the review before I even opened the can that this beer is probably not going to be for me. There's something about these smoothie beers with lots of fruit and lots of adjuncts and lots of concentrates that I just don't get it. I never will get it. And I'm standing here in pure relief that I've reviewed the smoothie IPA and I never have to taste it again, and that my next beer to review is a much more traditional beer from a much more traditional brewery, and I think it's the reason why these beers and these breweries stand the test of time. There's no doubt in Norton's history as a brewer. When did they start? Probably well over 100 years ago, 1898. How many years is it? 2024. It's like 125 years. They've been going for 125 years, longer than 126, if my maths is correct, as of 2024. This is their 4.8% ABV double stout. In the history of this brewery, I bet there's been so many kind of ideas that have been thrown at the brewing industry. And thrown at kind of like, oh, we can do this and we can do that, and lager's been a challenge for this brewery too, probably, but yet it still survives. It still survives, and I firmly believe that it still survives, and it's doing very, very well as a company, because I think it understands what people want from the market. Not gloopy, thick, smoothie IPAs. Absolutely not. So it comes as some relief then. Some relief to me that I have a lovely double stout to pour out. Oh, look at this. Some people might be watching this review thinking, what is he on about? I love smoothie IPAs. This looks like the most boring thing in the world. But I don't care. I really don't care. I like this. I like this sort of beer. You know, well, it's just the way it is, isn't it? It's just the way it is. I don't think I'll ever... Give me a German lager. Give me a Czech lager. Give me a Czech dark lager. A Bohemian lager. Give me all of these great styles of beer that have been around and they stood the test of time. A great stout like this. Stout has stood the test of time because people enjoy it and they like it. And they... My point here is, will smoothie IPA be around in 100 years' time? I doubt it very much. Look at this, jet black beer in the glass. One finger, white head. Looks wonderful, absolutely wonderful. 4.8% ABV, no light bleeding through that glass whatsoever. Let's get the aroma. Yes, that's more like it. Roasted malt. A chestnutty kind of nuttiness coming through on the beer. Little bit of caramel. And a little bit of kind of plum and fig and prune on the back end. Some dark kind of fruited aromas on the beer. little bit of licorice. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Don't get me wrong, I like innovation. I do like innovation, but just look at electric cars. It's in trouble, isn't it? The electric car market is in serious trouble because, do you know when you're pushed into doing something, you generally don't really want to do it, do you, if you're being pushed? And that's what I see. That's where I see the car market at the moment. I'm quite happy with my diesel. Call it environmentally unfriendly and all the rest of it, but you know what? It goes forever. It's like a tank. And the damn thing just, it starts every time, touch wood. And it's great on economy. If I drive my old diesel properly, it's great on economy. Absolutely great on economy. I just read now this morning, electric cars, Fiat have halted production, Ford are halting production, I think, or they're scaling back, I think, Ford. Who was the big one? Volvo. And another, what was the one this morning? Toyota. Toyota, they're about to scrap or kick the can down the road for at least 2 years. The introduction of a battery car in America. And if you think of the car market and then you think back to the beer market, this is the reliable old diesel, isn't it? It gets you everywhere. It tastes rather good. It's reliable. It's always going to be there for you. And that is just splendid, isn't it? It's just absolutely splendid. Roasty, toasty, biscuity, bready, caramel malt coming through. Good drinkability. Fantastic bitterness on the back end. Really lovely bitterness on the back end. And a beer that you will go back to and go back to and go back to and drink and drink and drink. I think if I was lucky enough to be able to afford to live in Oxford for a start, but the Cotswolds, I can imagine myself living in a little kind of like Cotswold stone house in maybe Burford. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I travelled through Burford a few times. What a fantastic place. But Hook Norton are about 17 miles away from Burford, or 17 minutes, not 17 miles, 17 minutes in the car. So I can imagine finding a Hook Norton pub, you know, kind of opening that old oak door to the pub, going in, sitting next to the fire, putting my coat on the chair, and then going up to the bar and then having a look, see what's on the bar. I'll have an old Hooky, or I'll have this kind of double stout. And I'll be sat there all night, happy as Larry, job done, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. My point is here, I can't imagine ever doing that with kind of smoothie IPA. And I think, yes, there's a novelty factor. There's a novelty factor with all of these smoothie beers. But quite frankly, I just think that the beer industry now, not my message earlier about battery cars and being forced. Nobody's being forced to drink smoothie IPA. I didn't mean that. What I meant was, like, nobody wants it either. I don't think so anyway. I don't think so. I think personally it should be reclassified. It should be reclassified as some kind of like alcoholic smoothie and it shouldn't be allowed to be called beer. And I think that's where sometimes I think that Britain needs a British purity law on certainly real ale. I reckon needs a purity law. Hops, malt, yeast and water. None of this kind of like lactose beers, just concentrated fruits, ice cream concentrates in beer. I think it all should, okay, if you want to call it a smooth, if you want to put all that stuff in the beer, call it something else. But please don't call it beer. Please, it just drives me nuts. First brewed in 1898. This has been brewed for over 100 years. 125 years. This smooth and full-bodied stout has a refreshing hoppy aftertaste, a rich aroma of sweet chocolate, espresso coffee, herbal hops and double dark malt. Cheers. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love it. This is my type of beer. Call me boring, I don't care. Fantastic. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.